Imagine posting something online that could get you judged, canceled, or even punished, but no one knows you. That's a power, but also a danger of internet anonymity. Hello, my name is Amanda Rosales Machado, and today I will be presenting on the ethical and global implications of internet anonymity. This topic is very important because almost everything we do today happens online, and anonymity directly affects how people behave on the internet. So let's begin. As an introduction, we're going to talk about a little bit of an overview of internet anonymity. So, internet anonymity is something we all use, whether we realize it or not. It allows people to interact online without actually revealing their identity. So, in a way, it's hidden their true self, if we want to put it some way. For example, many people uses anonymous or fake accounts to share their opinions, comments on posts, or interact in ways they normally wouldn't in real life. We can see that in Instagram platform or in Twitter, known as X now, or any even Facebook. People create fake accounts all the time to talk about a topic that is important for them. Now, while this is very beneficial, it also raises important ethical concerns, especially about behavior and accountability. But what is actually internet anonymity? Internet anonymity refers to the ability to communicate and participate online without revealing your true identity. As I mentioned before, this is common in platforms like Instagram, Reddit, online forums, or even fake Facebook accounts. It is true that it helps to protect the user's privacy and allows people to express themselves, but without a fear of judgment. So we can say it's more a way of self expression that kind of protects their privacy. And I mention kind of because it's like a fine line, and I will be talking more deeply moving forward. Let's go to the next slide. Benefits. What are the benefits of internet anonymity? One of the biggest benefits is freedom of expression. People are more likely to share their opinions, especially on sensitive topics or controversial when they feel safe. An example of this is whistleblowers or people living in restricted countries often rely on anonymity to speak out without facing consequences. It is also protects personal privacy, especially in times where personal data is constantly being collected. Furthermore, anonymity creates a safe space for people to talk about their personal issues like mental health without fear of being judgment. An example of this, I work in his Moroccan public schools, and we have an app in our computers called Tell Nobody, which explains like if a student has a concern or a mental health question, he will go there and in an anonymous way and talk about how he feels about it. So, what are the risks of internet anonymity? Even though we mentioned the benefits before, there's also serious risk. When people feel that they cannot be identified, they may behave worse because they are not being accountable for their actions because they are acting like another person that are not actually them. This can lead to cyberbullying, this can lead to harassment and toxic behavior. A common example is social media. We see this in social media all the time, where people leave harmful comments because they feel protected by anonymity. and this is a type of cyberbullying. It also allows criminals to hide their identity and commit fraud or other illegal activities. So, in conclusion, with the risk, while anonymity gives you freedom, it also reduces accountability. So, what is the counter arguments about this topic? Because of this risk, some people believe anonymity should be restricted. One possible solution could be identity verification. The idea of having identity verification is that people know their identity is connected to their actions. That way, they will behave more responsibly. In other words, take accountability. For example, some platforms now require phone numbers or verification to reduce the fake accounts. This could reduce harmful behaviors and make it easier for law enforcement to track online crimes as well. If we are able, if humans are able to find a way to track their identity linked with the crimes that they commit, is gonna make the process of investigation so much shorter because investigators, they don't need to be more than one day investigating if they know, okay, so this person signed online with this phone number and this address, so they must be connected to the actual person, if that makes sense. Slide 7, concerns about restrictions. However, restricting anonymity also creates new problems. Even if the idea looks attractive of restriction, this can limit freedom of expression and discourage people from expressing their opinions. In some countries, for example, people face serious consequences for what they say, so anonymity protects them. In addition, it also increases surveillance and raises concerns about personal data is collected. So there is no perfect solution in reality because every option creates new challenges. Global analysis. Different countries handle internet anonymity in different ways. For example, in the United States, anonymity is generally protected as part of free speech. On the other hand, China, its users are required to verify their identity before using many online platforms. This allows the government to have certain control and monitor online activity for its citizens, but also reduce limits of freedom of expression. On the other hand, Europe, there is a more balanced approach. Laws like GDPR focus on protecting user privacy while also regulating how data is handled. This shows that anonymity is not just a technical issue, but also is shaped by political and cultural values. Each country balances privacy, security, and freedom in different ways. So, what is the approach that we are taking on this paper? We're going to use the utilitarianism, which is seeing the greatest good for the biggest amount of people. From this perspective, anonymity provides important benefits such as freedom of expression and participation in society. However, it also creates negative consequences such as cyberbullying, harassment, and online crime. The key question becomes whether anonymity creates more benefits than harm. The most ethical solution is to not completely eliminate anonymity, but to regulate it in order to maximize its benefits and minimize its harm. This allows society to keep advantages while reducing risk. In conclusion, internet anonymity has both advantages and disadvantages. It protects privacy and freedom of expression, but it can also enable harmful behavior. And ethically, the best approach is to find a balance between freedom and accountability. And as technology grows up, this issue will become even more important in the future. These are the sources used for this presentation. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.